Welcome to my channel. I'm going to talk about what is very popular in the industry. It's called the side hustle. A lot of people may call it by different names. For me, it is the side hustle. We've all heard of the phrase, everything comes to the man who hustles while he waits. And in very simple terms, the hustle is best left to the people who hustle all the time, and the ones who don't and wait for the opportunity get the leftovers. Let me explore what causes people to choose a side hustle. Number one is more money, of course. Having an additional revenue stream to the household income, having more dough on the table is definitely a huge reason for people to pick up a side hustle. The second reason is where a boss who you trust a lot asks you to join his startup, and you simply can't refuse because there's years of camaraderie and trust that has built up with this person. So that's the second reason. The third reason is if a spouse or a longtime friend asks you to help set up maybe and also run their business, you simply can't refuse. Maybe one of the reasons is that if you refuse your spouse, you might end up sleeping on the couch that night. Well, maybe not so extreme, but a lot of people choose a side hustle simply to support their family member or a close friend. Let's look at some other reasons. A side hustle also is a huge reason to augment your skills. A lot of people who pick up a side hustle pick it up because they're bored of in 12 to 18 months of their role, they want to pick up something that is fresh, something that is new, and something that will add value to their resume. If a person is great at Power BI, he probably wants to explore Snowflake. If a person is good at another skill set, he wants to pick up a competitor skill set. So it's always good for the resume, and it's also good for the additional workload that you can ask your present organization to give you. The other reason for, and the final reason for a side hustle is a lot of companies encourage it to diversify and to encourage widespread interests. Well, you need a progressive mindset for a company to encourage this. There are companies like TechM and Swiggy that have actually encouraged employees because it's not a competition. A person who's dedicated to a job and a person who you trust is not going to slack off from that work to take care of the side hustle. So it talks a lot about the mindset of the organization. It talks a lot about the employee engagement practices. It also touches on how much do you really trust your employees and how much oneness is there in a team. Having said all this, a side hustle is a must. It's a good idea to keep all paperwork separate from it. Maybe your name shouldn't figure in any of the paperwork of the new organization. Maybe your name shouldn't figure in any of the paperwork of the new organization. It should be completely free of it if your organization has strict terms around it. Another thing is that all phones, internet connections, knowledge assets should be absolutely separate so that you don't infringe on the intellectual property of either of the organizations. It's only your cerebral experience that gets used. So, having said this, this makes it a huge case of why we have a side hustle rather than why are you doing it. Simply what is it and how is it happening. I explored the why and I told you what are the reasons to have a side hustle. So if you think that any of these reasons link to you, give it a big fat thumbs up. Thank you.